You want to know what sucks about being an introverted feeler? I'll tell you. Hey, what's up, team? It's Sherman here from Geek Psychology. Let's talk about introverted feeling, because I do that a lot and I like to talk about it. As an introverted feeler, your feelings, your values, your beliefs, the internal harmony, how you evaluate things is not necessarily fully clear. Your dominant function is largely unconscious for all of us. And that means that it's so close to you. You can't see your fingerprint if it's right here. You might not even be able to see the finger, right? And that is what your dominant function is like. Explaining introverted feeling for me was a very difficult thing when I first started, This happens with everybody. I was talking to an ENTP friend of mine the other day, and he was saying the same thing, like extroverted intuition. I understand it, but it's hard to explain what it's doing. It's hard to express that to other people because we all assume that other people naturally make decisions and understand the world in the same way as our dominant function. No matter how much time you've spent, studying and learning about this. Back to introverted feeling, we constantly evaluate things and actions and thoughts to see if it is good or bad, to see if it fits the identity of the thing, to see if that action matches our motives and things like that. And it does not necessarily mean that we've put in the time and gotten the broad range of experiences to understand what those are, to really give names and labels and define our values and how this thing really makes me feel, and knowing like all the broad spectrum of feelings. This is why you have that stereotype of young IFPs being completely emo and out of control and super emotional. I was. So it might not just be a stereotype. Now, I spent a long time when I was younger just delving into myself, reflecting over and over about what is the meaning of this stuff in relation to who I am. And it was rough. I got emotional. I broke down crying in like music class. All right. That's pretty embarrassing, right? I have a lot of those kind of stories that I've been through, and it sucks. But through that, with intention, you start to refine those. And you need to couple that with getting experience, with using your auxiliary function, SE or NE, whatever it is. Just learning, getting new feedback from the world instead of relying on your past or what you speculate on how something is going to be, and how other people are viewing you and whatever it is. So you need to get experience in order to refine, in order to define, in order to really understand who you are. And so what sucks about having FI as a dominant function is, how do you do that? What school teaches you how to do that? People don't go to high school and okay, let's elicit our values right now, and let's make sure that we're all feeling authentic to ourselves and trusting our motives and intentions today. It doesn't happen. If it does, please let us know down below what school is doing that, because that is awesome. So a lot of people, a lot of FI types miss this lesson. And they just kind of go through things not knowing, not specifically being like, I'm going to just try this so that I know how I feel about it. I'm going to let myself be wrong in this situation in order to get the experience so that I know this is something that I will never do again. Or this is something that I will continue to do because this really did fit with who I was, despite not thinking that it was going to before I started it. Talking to somebody new, doing something possibly illegal, you do it and then you learn from it. I'm not saying go do something like super bad and evil, but get experiences. Push out of that SI or NI comfort zone and really just experience life so that you can refine your values, so that you can chunk down. You can get more specific on what those values are and how you feel about the situation, sure. And that is how you're really going to take it to the next level. And you're really going to be able to motivate yourself and other people. Because one of the really cool things about having dominant FI, for the IFPs, is that we can really embody what it means to be X type of person. Like, it is, if we've experienced it before or experienced something similar, we can go back into that and we can really show up as that type, as someone who is super confident, someone who is even manipulative, someone who is expressive, gregarious, and supportive. We can do that. You just need to get the experiences so that you have been in that situation and you can play with that a bit more, right? And you can go into yourself, find that feeling, that value, tap it, open it up, and then be that. All right? And that's how you're going to be a hero.